If you want to improve your shooting consistency and are overall better shooter, this video will definitely help you. But let me talk first about this NBA player. Or you hate this guy or you love him. There is no between. But one thing everyone can agree. He is one of the best shooters on this league with a 3-point percentage of 37. That's amazing. And one thing that he does better than any shooter in the NBA, including Stefan Curry, is the mechanic that we are going to cover on this video: hand placement. You are also going to see how this works, why this works, how to implement, and most important, tips and tricks that you can use to skyrocket your shooting development. And if you do all the things that I talk on this video, I'm sure that you will leave off this video knowing what to do to become a much better shooter. So relax, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. First of all, you need to understand one thing. If you want to be a better shooter, one of the best ways that you can do that is to perfect your jump shot. And if you don't know what jump shot means, don't worry, it's very simple. The jump shot is just a fancy name to say that it is the way that you naturally shoot the ball. And developing a good jump shot means to implement mechanics to it. And mechanics are intentional movements that you can do when shooting to develop a consistency, power, and precision of your shots. The hand placement is a mechanic. There is a lot of mechanics that you can learn, and each one of them can help you some way. But for now, let's stick to knowing about your hand placement. The first and most basic question that you can have is: what is the hand placement? This is the term that we use to show where the hands are in the ball when we start the shooting movement. In other words, when you are picking the ball to shoot it, the way that your hands are on the ball when you start the movement of shooting is your hand placement. And how developing a good hand placement on the ball before shooting is going to help me to be a better shooter. Because when you have a better positioning with your hands on the ball before shooting, you have more consistency and precision when shooting. And more than the half of the mistakes that you can do when shooting is the result of having your hand holding the ball in the wrong form before shooting. In other words, the half of mistakes that you can make when shooting is because of bad developing hand placement. But that does not mean that having a perfect hand placement will make you not miss a single shot. But you will make less mistakes than you was doing before this mechanic. So, if you lack precision or consistency and want to improve that, this mechanic is perfect to you. Now for the mechanic. This is how you do it. The idea is simple. Just put the hand in the middle of the ball with the hand facing the rim. Why I'm saying that? Why with the hand facing the rim? Well, because you can have the hand on the middle of the ball and still doing this in the wrong way. You see, this is in the middle of the ball. This is also in the middle of the ball. The second one is wrong. Why? Because when you are going to shoot it in that way, it seems normal at first, but all the mistakes comes out on the set point, on your release. Your hand is not facing the rim and is not entirely below the ball. Also, this can very much affect your guide hand too. So this seems normal, but in reality it can be very harmful to your shooting form. Other thing that you need to be doing is to putting your hand in this area. You can be saying in your home, but I already do that. Probably don't. You see, what you can be doing is this. The difference is minimal, but you can see in the comparison. And this changes your shooting motion entirely, because when you do this, you generate a lot of extra spin on the ball, and also is more comfortable movement to the body to do instead of picking the ball over here. But this is not the only hand placement that you can do. There is also the way that Curry do. What he does is to pick the ball normally, like in the pass position, and throughout the jump shot, he is rotating the hands to be perfect when the time of releasing the ball has come, your set point. This type have more benefits, like having more power and consistency when shooting, but is very hard to develop. So if you don't develop this hand placement very well, you will be very inconsistent when shooting and will not gain the extra benefits of this type of hand placement. So in my opinion, with my real experience, don't do this type. Use the other one. Now that you know the mechanic, how do I implement this? It's very simple. First, you need to understand the mechanic. So grab a ball and do the movement of your jump shot with that mechanic just to understand. Can be in your home, in your bedroom, in any place. Just pick the ball and do the movement to understand the mechanic. Then go to the court and start shooting with that mechanic close range shots. And with time, start to go further from the rim. Shoot free throws, then mid-range, and finally, when you are almost implementing the mechanic to your jump shot, shoot 3-point shots to finally develop the mechanic into your shooting form. So, when that I know that I'm finishing developing the mechanic on my shot, there's two things that can help you with that. The first one is when you do the mechanic without even thinking. So, you are on a casual game with your friends, on your school, on your local gym, and you have the chance of shooting the ball. And when you do that, you notice that you made the mechanic very naturally without thinking about that. And even that you didn't make that shot, this is a great indicative that you develop well the mechanic on your jump shot. The other form is to record yourself shooting. When you do that, like it is appearing on the video, you can notice with your own eyes if you are doing or not the mechanic in your shots. With that, becomes really easy to see if you need to train more to implement the mechanic or if it's good enough to go to another one. A huge thing that you can't forget to do is to put the work. It doesn't matter if you've seen this video, if you learn the mechanic, if you are not going to train that. You need to have some balls and train your shots. Only shooting from some days, 3 times a week, only 1 hour, will not make you a better shooter. You need to force yourself on training alone, when with your team, in games, to be a good shooter. And you are also not need to give up. Don't give up easily on this. And if you see the video until there, I know that you have the motivation to be that guy when it comes to be a better shooter. So if you like the video and want more, I have 2 things to offer. One is a coaching call with me that I talk about your jump shot, how to be a better shooter, how to perfect that jump shot. So if you like that, click on the link in the description. And the final thing is, I am talking personally with you now. To be honest with you, only one mechanic, only learning the hand placement, will not be enough to make you become that much of a great shooter that you want to be. So, if you want to know other super important mechanic that comes hand to hand with this one that you just learned, click on the video appearing right now and become a more consistent shooter with your shooting pocket. See you there.